Hey everyone, I'm Chris Bryant. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm back in the shop. And today we are going to actually install the oil filter bypass kit that I have from Amsoil. It's a universal kit, but it has an adapter that actually fits on to the oil filter, the factory oil filter location. Let me get it real quick. I thought I had it. And hopefully you're here after watching my other video where I actually start out documenting the mileage and going over the oil filter bypass kit and explaining my process and basically I wanted to create a baseline. That way we had somewhere where we started and we know where we started, and then from there we can see if the oil filter bypass kit actually does let you save money and is better for your engine overall. Because I mean, truthfully, that's the reason bunch of us, we always keep track of things like that, because we want our vehicles to last a long time. We don't want to put excess money in repairs, especially with the engine. The engine is usually the most expensive part, or the transmission. So on this kit, this piece here, you pull the factory oil filter off, and this threads on to the oil filter. Basically, this is like the oil filter. And this piece, you can see, it's got an O-ring just like the oil filter. Goes into it, and it seals. Don't want to drop the O-ring. And from the way I understood, there's a little, can you see it? Yeah, you can see that upside down A right there. Move it like this. You can see it right there where my finger's pointing. And then we have a B off to the side. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, A is the pressure side, so it feeds to the oil bypass. B is the return from the oil filter bypass. So we're going to install that where the original oil filter went, and then there's going to be lines going over to the oil filter bypass kit. I still need to figure out where that goes, so let me figure out a place to put it, and then I'll show you guys the process of putting it on. I got my truck up on the rack, and I'm trying to figure out a good place to put this filter kit because it's pretty good size. And if you guys know anything about the ecoboost, there's not a whole lot of room underneath these. Let me grab a flashlight. I don't have a lot of room up underneath here. I guess I could mount to the side of this, but then it hangs down. It hangs down about as far as this. And if you had a stock truck, obviously I have a 6-inch lift on this thing. If you had a stock truck, you wouldn't have that opportunity anyway, because then that would hang, you know, down closer to the road, and you wouldn't want to do that. But what I did figure out is this radiator support here. Put this light up. If you look up here, this support, it's kind of the main support of the body that hooks the left and right fender. I think that piece even goes up. Yeah, it's where the body mounts to. You can see this body mount right there. That's that channel that runs along the front. And I think that's going to be enough, but I don't want to just put that right into it, and I really can't the way the bracket's set up. So let me set up the tripod and I'll show you kind of how I want to put it up in there. Okay, I'll show you different angles how I want this. Basically, let me see if I can get this flashlight and everything the way you guys can see. I want to hang it from that and put it just up in this area. That way doing oil changes will be nice. I can just take the filters loose and let them drain and then replace them. I don't have a big mess. So here, let's try to get another angle here without dropping. And I want to hang it just in this area. That way it's easy to get to. Basically I'll be able to go straight down with the filters and everything. The big problem I'm running into is the bracket setup they come with. The bracket kit here. There's my mess of stuff here. Goes on where you put this. This is kind of a bottom reinforcement. and this goes on the top. So the channel I want to put it on is up here, and I can't really put all this together because that little bottom piece here acts like a reinforcement. If I just put this on, it'll probably work. I could maybe do that, but then the channel isn't as thick as this, so I really won't be getting a good place to mount. So I think I'm going to leave it like this with that reinforcement, and I'll make my own piece that slides over that channel, and it has a piece that comes down and mates up to this. That way we have a good solid mount. It doesn't work its way loose, doesn't sit there and vibrate and possibly cause issues with anything else. So I'm going to make a bracket that goes there, and I'll show you a little bit of that process. This is 16 gauge steel. I got two pieces. They're about, I think it's 2.5 by 4 inches or 3 inches. About 4 inches. And these will sandwich that cross member. And then I'll take this piece, I'm going to weld these to this piece. And this is, what is this? This is overkill. This is 1/8 inch thick. It's definitely overkill, but it's what I had laying around. So I'm going to, I don't know if you guys can see that. This, I'll weld it here, and so then that will sandwich that cross member. And then I'm going to put bolts. I'll probably put, I think 2 should probably do enough, through the center of that, and that'll sandwich everything. I'll put them somewhere, maybe 4, and that'll sandwich that cross member, hold this piece nice and sturdy from moving, and then we can bolt the oil filter bracket to this. So I'm going to go ahead and weld these up. So you saw me working on that bracket a little bit. I just kind of threw something together real quick. Got a floppy glove here. What we got going on, as you can see, I sandwiched that bracket. I don't have it, it's actually just sitting in there right now. And it can kind of hold itself. And this way is the back, this way is the front, as you can see here. But you can see them just sitting up in there. I think that's going to work awesome. And the bracket can easily come out if I need to do any work. So I think I like that. So I'm going to finish making the bracket. I ended up just welding it together. Let me see if I can get it out of here. Yeah, so I can unbolt it and just slide it out. It's kind of crude, but I used the bracket that came with it, and I was going to bolt it to it, but then I figured out that I didn't make this long enough really, and where I wanted this to set, so I just started welding it on there, got it where I wanted it, and now I'm going to take the bracket off the filter assembly and everything, and I'm going to finish welding all along the edges. That way we get a good strong hold. I think this is going to work out perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, and then I'll update you guys when after I drill the holes, get it mounted up there, and then I'm working on the lines. guys, I finally got all the lines and everything routed the way I wanted. It took me forever. I actually had to go out and get a new fitting for this one right here. If I would have had it shoot out straight just like this other one, it would have rubbed up against the intercooler pipe over there, up over here. And I didn't want it to rub up against that, being that this is a cloth lining. I didn't want it to rub through, cause any issues, so I just went and picked up a 90. I'm gonna zip tie this up here. That way it doesn't move a lot. I'll probably put some stuff here. I'll get some more stuff to put on here. That way it keeps it from chafing in other places. And let's see the filters up there. Start with the primary filter here. Then we'll do the bypass filter. And it's just super easy to get to when it comes time for filter change. So I feel like that was a pretty good spot to put it. I had to work quite a bit to make the bracket. I got to take it down one more time. I'll show you guys the bracket, what I made. I don't remember if I showed you. Okay, so the bracket here that I made is actually this L piece right here is what came with the kit. Here's another piece here. Since I didn't weld on that, I'm not going to worry about it. But I couldn't just bolt that to the bracket that I actually fastened to, so I took two small pieces of steel here. This is overkill here, I know, but it's just what I had laying around. I drilled some holes through everything, welded it to it, and painted a little black on it. Now I'm going to start assembling everything. Okay, I'm going to actually, since these fittings are really close to each other, I'm going to actually put those on, tighten those fittings up before I even put them in the car, or assemble everything. What I'm working on right now is actually getting the mounting bolts. They're holding this up. I'm going straight up and then I'm putting a nut on the top side. So now I have to get a little shorty wrench and tighten all that up. Okay, I got my mounting hardware on. That is a sturdy bracket, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I've got these tightened up. Those fittings right here tightened up. Now I need to run the fittings up to the oil filter adapter. And I think I need to put a little Loctite on both those fittings, so I'll do that, and then I'll work on getting those tight. Okay, got an update. I finally got this mounted in, tightened up. I think you saw that. But now I've got the lines all routed. I've got zip ties around it and everything. It's tightened up here at the oil filter fitting. You can see it a little better. So this is this one here is the feed, and this one's the return. And if we go back, and let me follow real quick. Yeah, so this one's the feed. Let me look real quick. That's right. Yeah, so if we look at this diagram here, this one here is the pressure side going into the filters. You see a little arrow right there. Goes through the filters and then comes back through the center. So that would mean the outer one here with the 90 runs along. It's the outer one there. Yeah, and goes to the center. So I'm ready to fill my filters with oil and put them up on there, and then we'll drain the oil and go ahead and do our first startup. Hopefully we don't have any major oil leaks or anything. So I'll set the camera up whenever I do the first start so you guys can watch it. Hopefully you all saw that. Usually it comes out a little faster. Notice I have a oil leak from the vacuum pump. So I got a new vacuum pump. I need to put it on, but I don't know. Got some coolant leaking over here from the turbos, or from the driver's turbo. I know the passenger one leaked a little bit. I got everything to do that too, but they don't normally leak very fast. I'm kind of trying to hold off because I'm trying to find a reason to buy bigger turbos, so we'll see. I'm going to 5-liter Coyote training in April down in Florida, where I'll learn quite a bit, and hopefully that will help in the ecoboost side, and I can kind of practice on this thing. Okay, time to pour oil in. I'm going to go ahead and do 6 quarts and then check the dipstick dry just to see. Well, no, that should be fine. It's not like we fill, yeah, so I'll do 6 quarts because we're filling the oil pan. That's typical. We're going to be over. I've filled the oil filters, so then I'll start it, and then once I have oil pressure, I'll shut it off and recheck. That one in. That's what I'm using. Okay, that's 6 quarts in the pan, and then about 1 quart in the filters. So we've increased by 1 quart, and we're a little over full, but I haven't started it. Okay, I've got oil pressure. Took a little bit longer, but obviously it will. From the flashlight. Those fittings look good. I really can't get over. I don't know if I'll be able to get the camera there. That one looks good. Oh, crap. I gotta put the camera down so I can check others. Okay, everything's looking good. I don't see any oil leaks. Oil pressure is good. It's showing. Obviously, it's saying. You can see that there. It's just saying change engine oil. So we'll set that. We've let it run for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and reset my oil minder. I reset it, or else my wife will go, the truck's saying to change the oil. I'm like, yeah, I know. Where am I going? Settings. Vehicle. So, reset. There. See, I've always had it set at 60. To put around, there we are. And it, light comes on around 5,000 miles. So we're going to do that again. Set to 60%. Not all vehicles you can do that, but I like on this truck you can do that. So on this, I'll go back to doing the same oil filter or oil change interval, and instead of actually changing my oil and filter, I'll take a sample and send it in. I may keep an eye on it, and I'll still put a sticker in the window. That way I know, I'm getting close. That way I might be able to do a test earlier, because I just sent my oil sample out today. This is actually the next day when I took the sample. So today is Valentine's Day. So I sent it out today. Hopefully it gets there in a couple days and I get something. If it's within a week turnaround and I find out, then that's not too big a deal. When I know it's getting close, I can take the sample, send it in, and just wait to find out whether I need to change oil or not. So, okay, let's go find out how much oil we need to add, or if add any. Yeah, we definitely need to add some. Let's see. You can see it's only showing up down here at the bottom. So, I'd say half a quart. Maybe a quart. A little bit more. So, if we're going from a 6-quart to an 8-quart system, and now we have that much more oil, would that extend the oil interval? Because you have more oil? I don't know. Okay, we're finally in the crosshatch. I've put in about 8.5 quarts. You can see there. You see the brown. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of this half quart in and say we're basically a 9-quart system now. Yep, we are just over half crosshatch. We could probably put another quarter of a quart in, but we know we're good. Yep. And it may still add a little bit. You can see it now. It's dripping. You can see it's right there. Oh. So, okay, we're just below the full line. So we're done. Now I'll take it for a drive. I'll have a link in the description for this universal bypass oil filter bypass kit. And then there's some diesel ones on that site as well. And I will try to break down anything extra I needed to buy. And then I'll also, in the description, I'll put the total of what I've spent to install this kit, including the oil, everything. Basically, if you go on Amsoil's website and you buy everything, I'll have a list of everything I did and the total of what it costs to do this. So anyway, that finishes up this. And if you guys enjoyed this and you look forward to more of these videos, hit the like button and subscribe. That way you guys get notifications when I put another video up whenever I test oil to find out how it's doing long term. I'm going to continue this for hopefully a long time. When I mean a long time, you know, next 2-3 years, I'd like to see, because if we're shooting out and we can go 15,000 miles, well, I may have to only change my oil once a year, if that. So that would be very cool. Cut down on what I have to do, and hopefully it will pay for itself in the long run. So again, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.